Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall catch-up video for Saturday the 17th of June, Sunday the 18th of June, and Monday the 19th of June. And the news now is coming at us like a flood, like the rain that we had the other day in the UK. Absolutely pissing it down with news it is. So this is going to be a pretty long video, and we're going to start off with pre-season schedule. Done and dusted, mostly. They do say that they're trying to get another game, but let's read this. This is from millfc.co.uk. Mill's 23-24 pre-season schedule has been confirmed. The Lions squad will return to Calmont Road for day one on Wednesday the 28th of June. So I think obviously the players are still on holiday until they've got another 10 days or so. Before heading out to Spain for a week-long training camp in the Mediterranean heat. On their return from Spain, Gary Rowett's team will take part in a number of friendly matches to get ready for the kick-off in early August. Firstly, a visit to Kent will see the Lions face Neil Harris's Gillingham side at Priestfield Stadium on Saturday the 15th of July, kick-off at 1 PM. So that's the first friendly there, away to Gillingham. Secondly, a trip to Sutton United will follow on Tuesday the 18th of July, kick-off at 7:45 PM. Again, an away game midweek. Have we played? I think we played at Sutton United. We did play them before, so but I'm sure that we didn't get many tickets. So I think there will be a new ground for many, if anyone wants to go to that one. Before the Lions welcome local rivals Charlton Athletic on Tuesday the 25th of July, kick-off 7:45 PM to the Den. The home game, midweek home game against Charlton. So there you go. A final pre-season match will see Millwall take on Eredivisie side Fortuna Sittard in SC16 Saturday the 29th of July, kick-off at 1 PM. Just 1 week to go until match day 1. So the last friendly the week before the season starts, we're playing Fortuna Sittard. And you might think you're scratching your head at, who are they? That rings a bell. Who are they? That's the team that we bought Zion Fleming from. So I don't know who's doing a favour there, whether it's in the contract or what, whether it's part of the contract to sign him. But then you would think that, do they get any money from that? I doubt it. It's a home game for us. So I don't know about that. In addition, Millwall will play a few behind closed doors training matches in a bid to gain extra sharpness ahead of the Sky Bet Championship campaign. The club is working on arrangements for a further friendly, which will be accessible to fans, but this has not yet been finalised. The Lions will make a separate announcement should this change. So they're working on a friendly that fans can go to, but it hasn't been announced yet. Now, why hasn't it been announced yet? Is it a big club? I don't think it could be, seeing as we're playing Fortuna Sittard the week before the season starts. Normally that last friendly is the big game, so I can't see who else that's going to be. But there is one. But where would that fit in then? Because we've got 15th of July, we've got 18th of July, we've got the 25th of July, and we've got Saturday the 29th of July. So where is the space for that to be played? Maybe it's one of the matches in Spain, but it doesn't really say that. So don't know. Where would it go? We go Saturday, Tuesday. So there's a Saturday the 22nd. So Saturday the 22nd, I guess it's going to go there, yeah. So there could be one more, and then so that's going to be before the Charlton game, before the Fortuna Sittard game. I can't see how that's going to be a. It might be a big team if it's an away game, because obviously they might be playing. They might want to play Millwall as one of their like third to last penultimate kind of friendlies. So it might be a big game for us, but not a big game for the team that we're playing. Maybe it's St Johnstone or something like that. Maybe that's why it's taken that long. It's a game in Scotland. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, we will see. Maybe they need to get permission from the police because it is a tasty fixture. So we'll see. But yeah, so there is your pre-season schedule. Now, um, you may notice that a few games are not on there, and we'll go into details why that is before. So, to kick off to be confirmed against Charlton, they haven't confirmed that yet. It says 7:45 up there, so it's a night game. Oh, it's midweek, so obviously, yeah. What do you think? That's not that bad, is it? I think it's pretty good, pretty decent. Um, yeah, it's and we'll wait to see who we get on the 22nd of July. Who that is away, I don't know. But Gillingham, what they League Two, Sutton United League Two as well. So maybe either someone in League One, because you won't want to go too far off the rails there. But we'll see, we'll see. I don't know, but maybe it's not a tease. Maybe they're just waiting to see who get some confirmed details now. Let's hear from Gary Rowett. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Former Charlton Athletic player Gary Rowett. Mill boss Rowett gives verdict on pre-season friendly clash against Charlton Athletic. Mill manager Gary Rowett has given his reaction to a home friendly against Charlton Athletic being slotted into their pre-season preparations. The Lions will host their South London rivals on July the 25th at 7:45 p.m. It is the first time the two clubs have faced each other since the 2019-20 campaign, when the Addicts went on to lose their championship status. Matt Smith headed a stoppage time winner in the first fixture then in November 2019. Jake Cooper's goal settled the reverse fixture played behind closed doors due to the COVID-19 pandemic in July 2020. It's one of those games where for us it's about ramping up the quality of opposition and ramping up the type of opposition, making sure we've got a different set of challenges towards the end of this pre-season, Rowett told the South London Press. It's a good game for both teams. It will be competitive and fairly close to a championship type of game. For the fans, the result will be important, but less so for the managers. For us, it's more about what you're going to learn within the game as part of the development pre-season. It's a good game within our programme. We've certainly got a stronger programme, and that's a good thing. We played Crystal Palace previously, and matches like that just work, not being miles away. These type of games make a bit of sense while there is a real rivalry between the clubs. We know their coaching staff are good people who play the game in the right way. It will be different from a league game. I remember the one where Smudge scored late on, but I don't think either team is going to try and create that type of intensity. I think there will be a natural intensity to the game. It will be a good test, I suppose. And if we, seeing as it is just a friendly, if we do end up losing it, I mean, it doesn't really count. It will still keep our streak of beating them many times in league and cup football. So I told you in previous videos about friendlies that had been announced earlier. One was away to Bromley, one was away to Fisher. There was one announced on Sunday. I was thinking, is it worth doing a video about? Not really. That was Dulwich Hamlet away. Well, now Millwall have confirmed those matches are under 21 games, and they will be featuring under 21 teams. Millwall's under 21s will play two pre-season friendly fixtures ahead of the 23-24 Professional Development League campaign. Kevin Nugent's side, who captured the Southern Division title and national final crown in the Whirlwind Week to complete 22-23, will travel to local sides Bromley and Dulwich Hamlet in late July. Millwall 11 will play at Hayes Lane on Saturday the 22nd of July, kick off at 3 p.m, with the under 21s facing the Hamlet on Friday the 28th of July. Kick-off 7:45 p.m. at Champion Hill. Ticket details for both matches will be confirmed in due course. So there you go. They are both under 21 games. Although, this is Millwall's official website, and they say a Millwall 11. A Millwall 11. They say a Millwall 11. So that is pretty early on in pre-season. 22nd of July. Maybe there will be a few first teamers kicking around in that. Maybe the internationals, because I told you before, Carrow said they'll be coming back a week later. So We read earlier that the Mill players will come back on the 28th. The international players, Bradshaw, Kevin Nisbet, George Saville, maybe Ado as well, will be coming back a week later than that. So they still get their holiday in. Now, we're moving on to ins and outs. Yeah, transfers that is, not anything else. From LondonNewsOnline.co.uk, Watford reportedly in talks to land former Millwall loanee. I think this is upsetting a lot of people because they wanted Styles to sign. They can see he's got a bit about him. He's got good quality. He's a creative type player. Can pick a pass. And it was kind of weird that it was announced that during the loan that a fee had been attached to the loan, that when the loan ended, Millwall could pay the fee and get the player. Well, apparently it turns out that fee is just the fee for anyone who wants to buy Callum Styles, because here we go. Watford reportedly in talks to land former Millwall loanee. Watford are reportedly in talks to sign Callum Styles. The Athletic are reporting that a fee is yet to be agreed with Styles' parent club Barnsley. Versatile Styles spent last season on loan with the Lions and made 22 appearances under Gary Rowett. 23-year-old played 43 times under now Watford boss Larry Ishmael while he was in charge of Barnsley. Hungarian international Styles has 2 years left on his deal with the Tykes. And then they go on to give this quote, which I've mentioned in a previous video. This is the same quote that was mentioned when the guy was asked, what's happening with Callum Styles? Is he leaving or is he coming back to Barnsley? And he said it's the same quote. He's saying, for me, it is quite simple. He signed a 3-year deal and it's 2 years on his contract. We will start pre-season on June 26th. And he will report to pre-season, maybe with a couple of days or extra off, as he will be with the national team. But I see no difference with Styles to any other player at our club. He is a Barnsley player and we will discuss what is best available opportunity or solution for the club, whether it is coming back or selling him. As of now, he's a Barnsley FC player. So yeah, that's the exact same quote. So they seem to be merging two stories here to make this. The Athletic story saying that Watford are coming in for him, and then the quote that was from an older story. But yeah, going to Watford and going to play under his former manager. Well, he needs to be careful because he might be the manager of Watford now, but give it 6 weeks and he might be out of a job. The manager there, they seem to go through like 6 managers a season, do Watford. So that might be upsetting for him. Now moving on to Tyler Burey. It's come out that we now know who the club is who are trying to sign Tyler Burey. Millwall attacker set to leave club after bid accepted. Tyler Burey made 58 appearances, scored 3 goals for the Lions. See that? Past tense there. Past tense. Made. Tyler Burey made. So it's almost like it's done deal. Tyler Burey set to leave Millwall after the Lions accepted a bid for the winger, which we know. Burey, 22, made 26 appearances last season, but was out for almost 4 months before returning to the bench in a 3-2 win at Blackpool on the penultimate day. The attacker was also introduced on the final day in a 4-3 defeat against Blackburn Rovers. League One Oxford United are understood to be in pole position to land Burey, who has interest in him from other clubs. So it's Oxford United. Burey joined the Lions development squad from AFC Wimbledon in the summer of 2019 and made his senior debut as a substitute on the last day of that season in a 4-1 win over Huddersfield Town at the Den. Burey impressed briefly on loan at Hartlepool United at the start of the 21-22 season before a hamstring injury cut short that spell. Burey has played 58 times for Millwall and scored 3 goals. He signed a long-term deal last summer. Earlier in the summer, Millwall released Mason Bennett and Oliver Burke, who returned to Werder Bremen after his loan. The Lions will need to further bolster their attacking options after the arrival of Kevin Nisbet. So far, they're 1 in and 1 out. Kevin Nisbet in, Tyler Burey out. To Oxford United, it seems. Now, here we go. Players coming in. More players that we've been linked with. player from Blackburn Rovers. So Millwall want Rovers captain, Travis. Millwall boss Gary Rowetts made a surprise move for Blackburn midfield general Lewis Travis. This is from brfcs.com, but this is just one of many stories. I've got it from this just because I think it's like a Blackburn Rovers fan site, but it's all over the shop. Respected Travis is seen as an influential figure that Rowett could use for the Lions after they missed out on the playoffs. Ironically, Travis was in the Rovers side that stopped them, although he was subbed before the dramatic second half turnaround. The opening offer is low, but Blackburn may sell if the price goes higher in the summer of change at Hewood Park. So, and the story is courtesy of Alan Nixon, you may know, he's Reluctant Nico on Twitter, and this guy was he's like the transfer whisperer. He knows everything about everything apparently, so much so that he got sick of people asking him about clubs and who might be going where, and he started up his own Patreon site to cash in on that. So you got people have to subscribe to this guy on Patreon to get the transfer news. So there you go. So BRFCS, that's this website, believes that up to 4 bids have already been tabled in this window for Millwall, who seem determined to land the Rovers captain. No, that's not determination. We're all Millwall fans, we know that's stupidity. Because I'm guarantee that Millwall have come in and said, we'll give you 300k for him. And they've been laughed at. Alright, 500k? Alright, 600k? That's how it's gone. Like, that kind of situation. Yeah. Now, maybe, so obviously we've got financial fair play stuff, we've got financial rules in place. Maybe Millwall know, maybe it's known across football, which teams are in trouble, and which teams are not. So if you know that a team needs to cut their wage budget, otherwise they're going to be in trouble, and possibly end up losing maybe some points, you go in and you try and sign one of their players so that they can get them off the books, they can get a bit of cash through the door. Especially if you're coming in with like straight cash, because I think the rules over a transfer used to be you have 2 years to pay it, got to put down a certain amount up front. So if we come and say we'll give you 500k, but it's going to be straight 500k immediately, bank transfer, rather than like 100 grand now and then 100 grand later, and all that stuff. If we go 600k right away, take it or leave it. And they basically left it. So 4 bids we've made. So it would suggest, I don't know if this guy, how long his contract is, but this might be a player we sign next season. As is the case. We make the bids, they don't go anywhere. We wait a season, we go back in and say, look, we really, really want to sign you. Remember we were here last year? Yeah, we still want to sign you, so do you want to come and play for us? It might be one of them. So Lewis Travis, which is, he's not the player on the left there, he's the one on the right, which you can't see, only see the back of his head. So yeah, interesting. Moving on to this. Et Inglese Millwall FC heft Interesse in George Cox, der Linksback, und England verträgt Transfer bis Fortuna Sittard und hilft the club mit Zwid London Interesse in Brian Platt and Derry John Merkin. For those of you who don't speak Dutch, as basically me as well, the English Millwall FC is interested in George Cox. The left back from England leaves Fortuna Sittard free of transfer. The South London club is also interested in Brian Platt and Derry Merkin. So, proof of concept. What does that mean? Well, we buy some players from the Eredivisie. Well, we buy one. namely Zion Fleming, because he played quite well in that league. We bring him over to the Championship, and we say, well, can he do it in the Championship? Is it like, how does it compare that division to our division? I mean, is it a bit physical? Like Zion Fleming had admitted that himself. It took him a while to get going. He did extra weight work in training at the start, but he got the hang of it. So that's proof. Hang on. So here's an idea. Good players in Eredivisie, like not superstars, because superstars they'll be at Ajax and Feyenoord, but good ones in middle teams in Eredivisie, because Fortuna Sittard was struggling to stave off relegation, which is one of the reasons why they didn't let Zion Fleming go first time we went in for him, or in the January window before, not the last one, the one before. They were trying to stay up, so they were fighting relegation from that division. So we bought a player from that team that was fighting relegation in Eredivisie. He's come over and he scored, was it 15 goals or so? So that's proof of concept. Good players in that league can come over and play very well in the English Championship. So we come back. We've gone back. It looks like, according to this is from Transfer Market NL. It's the Netherlands branch of this that website that you get that's supposedly lists how much each player's worth and stuff like that. So yeah, but who is he? Why is he's George Cox and he's Derry Merkin? They don't sound very Dutch to me. Well, George Cox, he started out in Brighton. He went on loan to Fortuna Sittard and then he decided to go back there on a permanent. He's played 4 seasons of pro football at Fortuna Sittard. And here we go. This is his rating. 6.64, 6.97, 6.74, 6.61. He is a left back primarily. A left back. You can see he didn't score last season, so quite like our left backs as well. And our defenders didn't really score. But his best season seems to be 2020-21, which I'm going to assume was behind closed doors for them. So I don't know if he gets a bit riled by fans, because that might be a problem if it comes to Millwall and he doesn't hit the ground running. Yeah. There it is. That's what he's done in the past 4 seasons. This is from whoscored.com. So these are his averages per game. He's kind of fell off last season, so I don't know if he's left or they decided to let him go. Just not massively dropped off, but you can see last season he averaged 1.4 tackles per game. Before that was 2.1. He does get a few assists, not many. Passing wise, so his passing accuracy actually went up last season. Camping a long ball. So there you go. That's who George Cox is. He's 25 years old. Looks like that's true. He's a bit diddy. 171. What's that? 5'2", 5'3", something like that. Now the other players mentioned in that tweet. Brian Platt. Who's that? Well, he's a centre back. Apparently, he's maybe a right-sided defender as well. Maybe a right back. He has just broken to the FC Volendam team. He's 23 years old. Yeah, he's had 1 full season in the Eredivisie. That was last season. 26 starts, 3 substitute appearances. So, regular first team player. Got a rating of 6.59. So, but you got to remember that's in a team that's not very good. FC Volendam. I don't know where they finished, but I'm pretty sure it's not that high. So let's have a scroll through his stuff. So he averages 3 tackles a game. So he is a player that can tackle. That's 2.4 clearances. So this is a player who, if we bring this guy in and then it looks like he's it's going to be curtains for Alex Mitchell and maybe Chinockley as well, because this guy's 23, it's roughly the same age as them. And if he just hits the ground running, you've got to think it's. And if we pay any amount of money, you would think it's he's placed to take that third or fourth centre back spot. Well, they might play him at a right back. I don't know. So hasn't scored yet. No assists. There seems to be a defending defender. He's 191 centimeters, which is quite tall. The Dutch are quite tall people. I think that's like 6'6", isn't it? So is he a replacement for Jake Cooper? If Jake Cooper doesn't sign an extension, So yeah, there's his stats. Now the third guy mentioned in that tweet, Derry Merkin. He is Englander. He's an Englander. He is a defensive left and a left midfielder. Interesting. 183, so I think that's about 6 foot. Assists, quite a few assists. Again, he plays for the same team as the guy before, Brian Platt, FC Volendam. Again, it was his first season in the first team for Volendam. Or what this site doesn't track all the leagues, it only tracks certain leagues. So I think he was playing in a lower league in the Netherlands for the reserve. They call him Jong Volendam. And it wouldn't be tracked on this. So his first full season at a level that's big enough to be tracked by WhoScored.com was last season. He made 32 appearances, 5 assists, and a rating of 6.79. So again, pretty decent standard. So defensively, tackles per game 2.8. That's pretty decent. So again, but we were linked with George Cox, who's a left back. We were linked with Derry Merkin, who's a left back. Is it an either-or situation? I mean, what's going on here? George Cox is out of contract. Derry Merkin, I believe, is still in contract. So we'll see how that goes. And I think he's an academy product of FC Volendam, so might be a situation there. Offensive, Steve. So he's listed as a winger as well, apparently. Okay, 1.2 dribbles per game. I think that's quite high. Passing wise, again 5 assists. Average passing game 35.8. So who is this Englander? So we know about George Cox. He come from Brighton. Who's this guy? Well, go to his Wikipedia. He plays as a left back for Eredivisie club FC Volendam. He was repositioned as a left back under head coach Wim Jonk. He made 6 goals and provided 7 assists, 32 appearances that season, and his performances earned him the award of FC Volendam Talent of the Season, so Player of the Season. He was born in Colchester. He moved to the Netherlands when he was 4 years old because his mother's job took him out there. Who knows what she does? She a lawyer? Does she work in Maastricht, European Court of Human Rights? I don't know why someone English would have to relocate to Netherlands. Maybe she works for Shell. Isn't there like a refinery in Essex somewhere? Maybe, I don't know. But you think that's a pretty big move to move your whole family and your kids and stuff out to. Maybe he's the only kid, I don't know, to Netherlands. But there you go. So he's born and bred Netherlands from 4 years old. So and he's 6 foot. You can see he's listed here as left back and winger. So he was a winger, and they told him, look, you can play a left back, which is insane. Now maybe this is why we have let Tyler Burey go. Because if we can have a winger who can also play left back, that is certainly an upgrade on Tyler Burey. Certainly 6 foot winger as well. That's kind of weird because normally when you have a left back, then it would be left wing back, or you know what I mean. They wouldn't say winger like an out and out. But yeah, that's apparently he started out as a winger and they moved him to left back and he's been absolutely brilliant. So there you go. So that might be the new left back situation. Two there, George Cox or Derry Merkin, take your pick. And these are his stats here, so you can see a few more here. So FC Volendam. So last season was their first season in the Eredivisie for quite some time. They just got promoted, so not bad at all, is it? So he obviously helped get them promoted as well. So last season he was left back. You can see he didn't score any goals, but before that, he did score quite a few goals. Back in 2018-19, 34 appearances, 21 goals. So he seemed to be an out-and-out striker for the reserve team, and they've decided to jigger him around and move him and put him at left back. Not bad. So yeah, Derry Merkin, quite interesting story there. Now, moving on to the internationals. This is a roundup. I think I've covered most of this in the video that I made, the last video. The only thing that wasn't mentioned was Kevin Nisbet because his game was on Saturday. He was an unused substitute and being played. So this is from southwarknews.co.uk. Mixed fortunes for Millwall Internationals. Scotland stunned Norway, but Wales humiliated. There were mixed fortunes for Millwall's international contingent in Euro 2024 qualifying over the weekend. Midfielder George Saville played the full game as Northern Ireland were denied a late draw in Denmark in Group H. After Jonas Vind had given the hosts the lead, Michael O'Neill's side thought they had rescued a point only for Callum Marshall's follow to be ruled out by VAR. For offside against Johnny Evans. Northern Ireland are fifth of 6 teams in the group with 3 points from 3 games and host Kazakhstan at Windsor Park tonight. And I'm going to tell you how they get on in a minute after I read this. Warning, it's not good. Kevin Nisbet was an unused substitute as Scotland stunned Erling Ireland and Norway with 2 goals in the last 3 minutes to secure a 2-1 win in Group A. In Haaland had given the hosts a lead with a penalty in the 61st minute, but Lyndon Dykes, Millwall target Lyndon Dykes. Are we still in for him since we got Nisbet? I don't know. And Kenny McLean struck in the 87th and 89th minutes to take it to 3 wins from 3 for Steve Clarke's side. Scotland played Georgia at home on Tuesday night, so yeah, it's tomorrow night. Tom Bradshaw came on to win his 5th cap for Wales, who suffered an embarrassing result as they lost 4-2 at home to Armenia in Group D. Daniel James put Wales in front before Lucas Zedaren equalised. Grant Leon Ranos made it 2-1 at the Cardiff City Stadium and then added a third after the break to stun the home supporters. Grant Leon Ranos, that doesn't sound very Armenian. Is he one of those Brazilian ringers? Harry Wilson got one back, but Zelaran scored his second to restore Armenia's 2-goal advantage with 15 minutes left. Kiefer Moore was sent off in the 78th minute before Bradshaw came on. 8 minutes remaining, but couldn't help Rob Page's side rescue a point. Wales are in Turkey for their game tonight. Meanwhile, Aidomo Emakhu will be hoping to make his Ireland under debut this evening, and Jim Crawford's side face Kuwaiti in a friendly in Austria. More on that as well later. This was put up when the 19th on Monday, so yeah, I'll tell you how we got on in that. But before we get to that, this piece from the irishnews.com kind of praising George Saville because he gets a lot of stick from the Northern Ireland fans for some reason. I think it's because he doesn't speak with a Belfast accent. He doesn't speak like that. So you know what I mean. He speaks very English. So yeah, I think it might be that. But yeah, he's the boo boy for a lot of them. I think they think it's the George Saville that we had before he went to Middlesbrough, where he was scoring all those goals. Obviously, since then he's kind of gone back into more like a midfield general type He's not really a goal scorer anymore. That's not what he does. And they desperately need one since David Healy retired. They are absolutely struggling for goals. Yeah, but unfortunately, they put this puff piece out, and we'll get into that why that's unfortunate in a minute. George Saville will never complain about lack of recognition for his hard work. So obviously this was put out 2 days ago on 17th of June. George Saville will never complain about a lack of recognition for his work in the Millwall Northern Ireland engine rooms, but when praise came his way at the end of the season, he was delighted to get it. Saville has made his career out of doing the dirty work in the field, the sort of unglamorous role which can go unnoticed, but the 30-year-old was third in the running for Millwall's Player of the Season award after being singled out by manager Gary Rowett for praise during a playoff push which fell short on the final day of the championship season. Blackburn came from 3-1 down to win 4-3 at Den. I voted for him, Player of the Season. I was going to vote for Bradshaw, but I think the goal drought at the end of the season, where Bradshaw didn't score, was like, yeah, we really need your goals now. Like, it's alright scoring. You needed to keep scoring, and if you did, we would have made the playoff. So I just switched to Saville. With the manager having that trust in me, how he spoke to me at the back end of the season was fantastic. And to get recognition at that level was great, Saville told the PA news agency. I've had a good season personally, my confidence is good, my fitness is good, it's just a shame we missed out on the playoffs on the final day when it was in our hands. But that's football. You learn lessons and hopefully that makes the team stronger. For me as an individual, I do what I can every time I step on the pitch and long may it continue. Saville is playing some of the best football of his career and was a strong performer again as Northern Ireland suffered a narrow 1-0 defeat away to Group H top seeds Denmark, working tirelessly to support young, relatively inexperienced colleagues in his side's injury-ravaged midfield. I enjoy the hard work and that side of the game, Saville added. In club football, I do the same thing. I play a deeper role for Millwall. A lot of work goes unnoticed, but I don't need a pat back or for anyone to say, well done for doing this or doing that. I don't need a high profile. I'm happy to do what I need to do for the team. And if that goes unnoticed, so be it. As long as it helps the team, that's the main thing. Friday was Saville's 45th cap, but he's yet to score in international football. This is why they're on his back as well. So he's played 45 times, hasn't scored yet. And that's not for want of trying. He does have shots, some very good ones as well. A fact he is not always happy to be reminded of. Saville gets his share of goals at club level and remains convinced that he can one day get on the score sheet for Northern Ireland. I wouldn't say it plays on my mind. So I've had opportunities to score for club level. I've scored goals. It's just something that I feel like will still come. I don't think about it much. I'm more focused on the team. I'm in the right areas. I'm an optimistic person. I think it will come. But the main objectives for me now is qualifying for a major championship. Saville is enjoying once again working under Mike O'Neill, the man who gave him his international debut in 2017, and who returned to the Northern Ireland job in December after a spell at Stoke. Michael first brought me in for me, so it's great, he said. We've got a great relationship and understanding, and he's someone I really enjoy working with. I really enjoy having him as a manager. As a person, he's the same old Michael. He's had different experiences and he's come back to a different squad. We've lost a few experienced lads in the last couple of camps. It's been a young squad and now they are coming through and it's become more that way. It's a different situation for us and for him, and one we're all adapting to and trying to give ourselves the best opportunity. Now this was done, obviously, put up after the narrow 1-0 defeat to Denmark, which they only lost 1-0, fair enough. They then went home to Northern Ireland and played Kazakhstan, and they lost 1-0 at home to Kazakhstan. Now, it's not as bad as losing to San Marino or Gibraltar or Andorra. Kazakhstan are a bit tasty, they're the next level up, but they're not far off of that bottom level, and especially at home to lose to them, this is a bad result. This is a bad result. And you can see here, so this is the Northern Ireland team by rating. Like you said about younger players, you've got Shao Charles 19, Isaac Price 19, Trey Hume 21. So there are quite a few young players, but they got the highest ratings here. Jules Saville down 6.25. He got a yellow card. He had 2 shots, 0 of them on target. That's as many shots as any other player had. He had the most shots, but that's what the fans were upset about. He has his fair share of shots, but he either doesn't get them on target or he does and he doesn't score. Not only that, but Jules Saville won the most aerials for Northern Ireland in this game, 5. You can see there. So he's doing his fair share of work. Touches, he had 56 touches, which is probably in the middle somewhere. If we sort this by that, 7th. So yeah, not the best of days for Northern Ireland for Jules Saville. Defensively, if this loads, it does not load. I think I've been waiting too long. I think I have to refresh it. And it's not going to come up. Okay, so we just move on. So, moving on to today, Wales. Wales played. They played in Turkey. Bradshaw didn't start, even though Kiefer Moore was banned from the game. Bradshaw didn't start, and he did come on as a sub though, quite early on. Yet again though, they had another red card. Wales. Where are we going? If we sort this by rating, so you can see Bradshaw was the 11th best player on the pitch, but he came on the 61st minute, so he only had 30 minutes on the pitch. He replaced Dan James. He didn't get the score as high as his. And obviously they were down a man, and it was backs to the wall. Bradshaw was isolated up front of his own. You can see he won 3 aerials. He was on the pitch for 30 minutes, and the player who won the most aerials was Chris Metham. He was on the pitch for 90 minutes and he won 5 aerials. So, and Tom Bradshaw only had 6 touches of the ball. He had a passing accuracy of 100%. So, but again, horrible time for Wales. They had a player sent off. They conceded a penalty. I started watching it when Bradshaw came on. I watched it on BBC iPlayer. So they got a penalty. Turkey. Penalty was saved. Then they put the ball in the net. It was ruled out for handball on Turkey. And then, so it was all Turkey. It was one-way Turkey stuff from when I was watching it. And yeah, it was just brutal. What can you do? Now, moving on to the other guy, the other international, Aidomo Emakhu. Well, here we go. Bit of drama, bit of salacious stuff. Here we go. This is from mirror.co.uk. Ireland under-21 match against Kuwait abandoned amid allegations of racist abuse. Ireland were leading their friendly against Kuwait's under-22 side in Austria when the game was abandoned in the light of an alleged racist remark by a Kuwaiti player. The Republic of Ireland under-21's friendly against Kuwait under-22s was abandoned after one of the island's substitutes was allegedly the target of racist abuse. Monday afternoon's game at the Park Firm Arena in Bad Frankenberg, Austria, was brought to a premature conclusion in the second half. Jim Crawford's men leading 3-0. The Football Association of Ireland posted on Twitter, the FAI regrets to announce that today's under-21 international against Kuwait has been abandoned after a racist remark was made by a Kuwaiti player towards one of our substitutes. The FAI does not tolerate any racism towards any of our players or staff, and we will be reporting this serious matter to FIFA and UEFA. Ireland led 2-0 at the break after early goals from Ollie O'Neill and Conor Carty, and extended their advantage 7 minutes after the restart through Aidomo Emakhu, making his debut after being introduced as a half-time substitute. So he comes on at half-time, 7 minutes after coming on, he scores. Yes! Crawford spoke out passionately in March after members of Ireland's 15 squad were racially abused online, prompting the FAI to brand the perpetrators' actions vile and horrific. Monday's game came at the end of a training camp in Austria designed to prepare them for September's European Championship qualifiers against Turkey and San Marino. And 4 days after they fought back to draw 2-2 Ukraine under 21s. There's a tweet that they put out. So meanwhile, this is not related. Meanwhile, in Ritzing, also in Austria, New Zealand refused to take the field for the second half after no action was taken over alleged racism in their friendly against Qatar. New Zealand football tweeted Michael Boxall was racially abused during the first half of the game by a Qatari player. No official action was taken, so the team have agreed not to come out for the second half of the match. The incident occurred shortly before half-time, leading to a reported melee on the pitch before the teams went in for the interval, with the All Whites leading 1-0. So, something about Austria. Something in the air. Right. The hills are alive with the sound of racist remarks, it seems. Yeah. Sad. I don't know. So, I read another story from the Irish Times. It made it sound like that the abuse was aimed at Aidomo Emakhu, but they say one of the substitutes. I think they mean someone who was on the bench at the time, or maybe they mean because he was a substitute, he came on. Do they mean a member of the squad who was on the bench, as that's what they mean by substitute, or do they mean one of the players who came on as a substitute, which meant it would probably be Aidomo Emakhu who was the player who was racially abused, especially if it happened after he scored. So if he scores, he celebrates because it's his debut and he's just scored, and then they say something to him, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? A bit sad, but yeah. If you want to know about the Middle East, look into the slave trade, and the slaves that went to the Middle East and what they did to them. That's why you get black people in America, in the South of America, because in the Middle East they cut their balls off. They took the slaves to the Middle East, they cut their balls off so they couldn't reproduce. That's why you don't get a lot of black people in the Middle East. But they had just as many slaves transported to the Middle East as were transported in the transatlantic slave. Apparently, I don't know. I listen to historians and that's what they say. But there you go, the Middle East. And on that note, thank you for watching. Goodbye.